Young Mr. Lincoln. It's a movie which I just watched it yesterday, and it was absolutely fabulous. From 1939, black and white film. Henry Fonda plays Abraham Lincoln, and it's directed by John Ford. One of my top 3 directors of all time. He's in the same conversation as Steven Spielberg and Howard Hawks, and this is a prime example of what he can do. This is 1939. This is his first film after Stagecoach, which is a film which I own, the Criterion version. John Wayne, in one of those great westerns shot in Monument Valley, Utah. Just gorgeous on film. But Young Mr. Lincoln. This is a film that has 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't normally give critic scores, but there are so few films which have universal appeal like this. And it was selected for preservation in the United States Film Registry by the Library of Congress in 2003 for being culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. And I watched the Criterion DVD. There is now a Criterion Blu-ray, which I'm very looking forward to when I get my hands on it. And Henry Fonda is just one of these great actors, and he's playing one of the most iconic characters in not just U.S., but in world history. Everybody knows who Abraham Lincoln is. You show them the picture of the 16th U.S. president with that iconic top hat. And Henry Fonda did not want to play Lincoln. He said, there's a quote, "I can't play Lincoln, that's like playing God." And it just talked about how difficult it was. And he went in for a screen test. They put on a prosthetic nose. They did the screen test, and he's like, watching it back, he's like, "Oh, this is great. This is so cool." And then he started talking. He's like, "But it's my voice, and I cannot portray that." Then John Ford signed on the movie, and he's like, "You're not playing the great emancipator. You're playing a greenhorn lawyer from Springfield, Illinois." And that's exactly what this movie is. He is not the Abraham Lincoln 16th President of the United States. He is a kid who suffered a tragic loss after his first girlfriend, Anne Rutledge, passed away. And she's the girl that said, "Hey, you'd be a great lawyer. You do great law. You got a great set of values. I think you should pursue this." And then she dies. And I know it's a historical film, but it's really weird because she is in the movie one scene, and then he's at the grave like the very next scene, and she's in it for only 5 minutes, but it's such an important part. And that kind of drew me out, like the person he was just talking to just died. But it just helps build his character so much more. And just knowing it's a real person, and these are real people, and it's a reenactment. This film is about Abraham Lincoln as a lawyer, and it's a courtroom drama where there's 2 men who were in a fight, and they accidentally stabbed some guy. And then Lincoln has to defend them, and it was really dark. It was late at night. They didn't really have any good witnesses. You have the mother that says she saw something, but she doesn't want to sacrifice one of her sons for the life of the other, so she's not saying anything. And Abraham Lincoln is he's a lawyer. He's not the 16th President of the United States yet, but you can see he might be there someday. And it's very interesting because you have Mary Todd and you have Stephen Douglas, but again, this is in the late 1930s that this is all going down. So you see young versions of these very iconic characters that are very important in U.S. history, and it's shot in gorgeous black and white. They did a restoration on the film. I don't know what year, but the Criterion, they put so much time and so much effort into their releases, and this is no exception. You can tell it's an old film because it's black and white and crisp, but there's no film grain. It looks clear. It looks great. They did a great restoration by the Criterion. And it's very interesting because everybody knows Lincoln. He's one of the most iconic humans in history. But a lot of times where he's growing up as a lawyer, it gets forgotten because all you remember when you think of Lincoln is the presidency. You think about the Civil War. You think about the Emancipation Proclamation. And you don't think about, well, he was a 20-year-old once. He was a lawyer once. You don't think about it. And I thought I was going to have a real problem with Henry Fonda as the character, because Henry Fonda himself didn't want to do it. And Henry Fonda is a fantastic actor, and he's been in so many iconic roles. But he has a certain persona. And for the opening parts of the movie, I thought, well, this is Henry Fonda with a top hat. But as you get into it, you stop seeing that, and he's like, this is Abraham Lincoln when he was a young 20-year-old in his law practice, and it is so good. You get this iconic actor, you get this iconic human, and you get this iconic director. And I know a lot of people aren't going to go to the library, and they're not going to be like, ooh, Abraham Lincoln movie from the 1930s. But if you have a passion for history, and you have a passion for films, Young Mr. Lincoln is one that you should check out. And being how it is a film that is in the Library of Congress, it is in the Criterion Collection, it is an important film for cinephiles, and I'm just going to shed some light on it. It's a classic with one of the classic directors, one of the greatest Hollywood actors, and if you have not seen Young Mr. Lincoln, I would highly recommend it.